Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. Senate Democrats just passed the Inflation Reduction Act. The bill consists of more of the same bad policy which caused the inflation in the first place. Huge amounts of deficit spending and disastrously bad energy policy. Instead of describing the bill for what it is, the press is reporting something completely nonsensical. They say the bill is the biggest step against climate change the United States has ever taken. What they mean by climate change is the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And the United States does not have the ability to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. The United States has signed dozens of international climate agreements, and none of them have done anything to slow the growth of atmospheric carbon dioxide. CO2 emissions in the United States have been declining for 20 years, with the largest drop under President Trump. Meanwhile, China's emissions have been skyrocketing, and their total emissions are more than double those of the United States. Even Biden's climate envoy, John Kerry, says that if the United States dropped off the face of the earth, it wouldn't make a difference for climate change. Reckless policy by the Democrats has caused China to stop talking to the United States about climate. Whatever minor effect the Democrats' bill has on U.S. CO2 emissions will be more than offset by the Democrats' diplomatic failures with China. So what the Democrats' bill actually does is to increase the deficit, reduce the amounts of money in taxpayers' pockets, and make energy more expensive. It won't do anything significant to affect the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and it certainly will not affect the climate. The article says, it will be the most the U.S. has ever spent in one go to tackle the climate crisis that's driving devastating heat waves, megafires, and hurricane seasons. But according to the official U.S. government National Climate Assessment, heat waves in the United States have been declining for 90 years. Forest fire burn acreage has also been declining for 90 years from the peak in 1931 of more than 50 million acres. According to the National Interagency Fire Center, about 5.8 million acres have burned in the United States so far this year. That's down almost 90% since 1931. The article says we're having record hurricane seasons, but so far this year there's been no hurricanes at all. 6 years ago this week, the Washington Post was terrified by the lack of hurricanes in the United States. They wrote, 3 historically unprecedented droughts and landfall in U.S. hurricanes are presently active. A major hurricane hasn't hit the U.S. Gulf or East Coast in more than a decade. They were upset that it's been almost 4,000 days since the United States was hit by a major hurricane. None of the evidence for a climate crisis in this article has any basis in reality. Heat waves have declined, fire burn acreage has declined, and hurricane seasons have declined as well. Everything about this article is fake news and inverted from reality. Fake news is everywhere in the press. According to the U.S. Press Corps, the Rio Grande has run dry in Albuquerque. But according to the United States Geologic Survey, Rio Grande streamflow around Albuquerque is at an all-time high for this day of year. The press claims the Rio Grande River in Albuquerque is dry, when in fact the streamflow is at a record high. The U.S. Press Corps has become very reliable. Whatever they say, it's pretty safe to assume that the exact opposite is true. Toto has been pulling back the curtain on this massive fraud for the past 14 years. You can visit Toto, Kyrie, Caesar, Toki, and Oopla on the web at RealClimateScience.com.